Hey babies, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be a little bit different. This is going to be a story time video. So I am doing this look while I'm telling you guys the story, and this story is going to be on my worst makeup client that I have ever worked on. It's not that bad, I guess, but to me it was like the worst experience I had. It literally made me want to quit like my job that day because I was so frustrated. But you know, if you guys are interested in hearing the story, then keep watching. And if you guys are new here, please subscribe to my channel. I do try to post once a week on YouTube and 3 times a week on Instagram. So yeah, let's get into the video. Okay guys, so let's just jump right into the story. I did prime my face already with my Kat Von D primer, and if I do like skip around and not tell you guys what I'm using, I'm sorry. I'm gonna try to stick to the story. Also, the story might be a little like mixed up around because I might forget some things because this actually happened in November, so it's been a while since this happened. So I'm just gonna go ahead and start putting my Beauty Blender foundation. So for those of you who are new or don't know, I do work at MAC, freelancer at MAC. So this incident actually happened the day after Black Friday. So it was like a crazy weekend. If you work at the mall, you know Black Friday is super crazy, so keep that in mind when you're hearing this story, that it was like a crazy day, like crowded. We were having a sale the whole weekend, and MAC never has sales. Literally Black Friday is like the only time where they have sales, so usually people go crazy like when we have a sale, you know. So anyways, like if you've never gotten your makeup done at MAC, so the way it works is you can buy like $60 worth of product and you can get your makeup done. But if customers are coming in and out, then I would have to like stop and help customers if it gets too like busy, just because it's not like a timed kind of appointment. And then we do have a second option where you do have like you pay the $65 and we do your makeup within an hour, and we don't stop to help anyone, right? So this girl came in and she did not have any appointment. Usually when you go to MAC, you have to have an appointment. We don't usually like take walk-in makeup like at all, especially like on a busy day. So she had no appointment. She wanted to walk in and do her makeup or get her makeup done. And my manager, I had literally just clocked in, guys. Like I clocked in at 12 and the girl came at 12. So like literally she was like my first client as soon as I walked in. So then I sit her down. She seemed like really nice in the beginning. Like she wasn't rude or anything like from the start, but right away, like she came in with a huge bag from Sephora, and she like wanted me to use all the makeup she had just bought from Sephora. And I was like, we can't like do that, you know, like this is MAC, like we're not gonna use Sephora makeup on you even though it's yours and you bought it. That's just weird, like for somebody to ask that, but that's what she wanted. So I was like, no, we can't do that. And she was like, oh my god, like that's so ridiculous, are you serious, can I talk to the manager? And I was like, you know what, like I'm 99% sure that we can't do that, but I'll go ask for you anyways. Just because I was trying to be nice, you know, like you always want to be nice to your clients and your customers, even if they come off like rude. So yeah, I was still trying to be nice. So I went to go like tell my manager, and she was like, no, like are you kidding me, like are you serious, like she really said that. Like, why would she think that? So I go and I tell her, like, no, like, we really can't do that because it's against our policy, blah, blah. And she was like, okay, fine, whatever, you know? She was like, oh, they wouldn't take me at Sephora. Like, they wouldn't do my makeup there. I'm like, well, yeah, it's the day after Black Friday. So we're, like, super busy. That's why they probably didn't want to take you. We were, like, talking. And then I asked her, like, oh, how do you want your makeup? Blah, blah, blah. She was wearing a dress with, like, pink. It was a light pink dress with, like, dark pink and purple flowers. So she was like, I want something to match. I want pink and purple eyeshadow. And then she showed me, like, the picture. And in the picture, it was like an editorial type of picture, like from Pinterest. So the shadow was, like, blown out, like, past the brown. And she specifically said she liked that, like, she wanted it like that. So she said she wanted, like, dramatic lashes. She wanted, like, full-on makeup, like, not a simple makeup, because she was going to a Friendsgiving and then she was going, like, I think on a date or something after. So she wanted, like, you know, like, more dramatic makeup, like, to go out with. And so I was like, okay, cool. I start, like, grabbing products for her. And then once I, like, bring the foundation, she wanted, like, she was very light. She was very light skinned, but she has the yellow undertone because she was Asian. So the color I brought had a little more yellow to match her neck. And then the color she wanted was very white. Like, she wanted the lightest shade we have at MAC, which is, like, super pale and more like, I don't know, like, just the undertone was not good for her. So she was, like, pretty much, like, arguing with me, like, no, I don't want the color that I chose. She was like, give me, like, can you please put, like, the lightest color? And I'm like, no, you're gonna look washed out. I'm like, you're gonna look pale, even though you are light. Like, you want a little bit of that color for your undertone. But she wouldn't listen. So I put the primer, and then she was still, like, with the different colors, even though I put them side by side, like, with her neck, and she still wanted the lighter one. So I was like, you know what, like, I'm not gonna argue with her. She's the customer. If that's what she wants, I'm gonna give it to her. So I put the lightest one, even though I'm like, this is way too light for her. Like, it gave her no color. And then she looks in the mirror and she's like, oh my god, this is, like, too pale. I look like a ghost. Oh no, can you please take it all off? And okay, I had already done, like, her primer and her concealer because she hadn't looked, you know? So I was like, yeah, girl, like, I was trying to be cool with her. I was like, yeah, girl, that's why I told you, go with the one with the more yellow undertone because this is gonna wash you out. And she was like, oh, I'm sorry, like, can you just please take it off? And by this time, like, at MAC, they only want us to spend around 45 minutes to an hour on somebody's makeup. At this time, by the time, like, I was already, like, doing all this, it was, like, 15 minutes into the makeup. So I had to literally take off everything. So that means I had to reapply primer, foundation, and then her concealer. Okay, guys, so then I get all her stuff on, and then by this time, like, I'm onto her eyebrows. And she was like, oh, I like your brows. I want them like yours, blah, blah. Okay, guys, so I'm editing this right now. And I also forgot to mention that when she told me she liked my brows, she even tried arguing with me about what I use. I told her I use the mechanical pencil. And she was still trying... So she was still trying to argue with me and be like, oh, no, it looks like you use powder. Like, oh, but it looks like powder. It doesn't look like the pencil. I'm like, no, I use the pencil. And she's like, really? Like, it looks so much like powder. Like, she was just, like, so weird. Like, she would try to, like, even argue about, like, things that she doesn't even know, you know? And I'm like, okay, but I'm going to do a lighter color because my hair at that time was blue-black. So I would use the darkest color. And I was like, your hair is, like, dark brown. I wouldn't suggest using the same color, but I can do them the same, you know? And she was like, yeah, that's cool, whatever. So then I'm doing them, and she's, like, literally, like, every second looking in the mirror and then like nitpicking. She's like, no, I want this more round. No, I want this like sharper. Are you gonna do this? Are you gonna do that? And I'm like, yeah, I'm not done yet, you know? So I was getting like a little frustrated, but I was still being like cool with her. And I swear to God, by this time we were like 20 minutes into the appointment because she set me back with taking off her whole foundation. And so I'm like trying to hurry because in between I'm still grabbing like products for other people and helping the customers that were coming in. And I'm not being dramatic when I say it was crowded that day. Like literally the line was like around, like past the door, like to check out. Like it was so crowded that day. So then at this point I'm gonna start like working on her eyes. So I get like the paint pot to like clean up her brows and set the primer for her eyes. And she was like, oh no, like I don't want to use that, that's like too thick, blah blah. I'm like, well, I can use the concealer, but if you want it to last all night, I would suggest using this. And she's like, no, she didn't want it, you know. So then I put the concealer, but her skin, like, I don't even know how to explain it. She had like a lot of texture on her, like under her brow bone. So the concealer kind of was like not grabbing on as well, which is why I wanted to use the paint pot because it's a little thicker, you know. And she was like, I was like, oh, the concealer doesn't look as good, you know, can I try the paint pot? And I showed her and she was like, oh no, it looks horrible, take it off and blah blah. And so I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna use the paint pot because it's gonna be better for you. And she was like, like she didn't want to use it. So then at this point I'm like literally like 30 minutes into the appointment, like I should be almost finishing up with her and I'm barely starting on her eyes. So my manager pulls me aside and she's like, hey, like what's going on? Like is she making you take off a bunch of things or like do things over? And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, honestly at this point I don't know what to do with her because she doesn't like anything. She's nitpicking every little thing. And she's like, just be like aggressive. And I'm not like an aggressive person at all. She's like, just be aggressive and tell her like, you know what, this is all I can do for you right now because we're crowded and we need the extra help and we can't take longer on your appointment. Because the thing is that she didn't have an appointment, right? So I had an appointment at 1. It's like 12:35, 12:40 already. So my appointment at 1 was already like early and waiting. And it's not fair that she called and had her appointment for weeks. And like this girl is like holding it up, you know, who didn't even have an appointment. So I was kind of like freaking out. And then the girl noticed and she was like, oh my God, am I getting you in trouble? Blah, blah. And I'm like, no, I'm not in trouble. I was like trying to play it cool, you know, because I was still being really nice to her. And I was like, no, it's just that I have an appointment at 1 and we usually only take an hour on each appointment. Like, I can't be like doing every step over for you. Like, I can't be wiping it off and doing it over. Like, it's just wasteful of our time. And she was like, I'm sorry. She's like, but I'm paying for it and I want to be happy with my makeup. And I'm like, no, I understand that. I'm like, but there's not much I can do if my other appointment's waiting. I have to get you out of here, you know. And I told her nice like that and everything. And she was like, oh my God, like I want to be happy with it. Like I'm not gonna like pay if I'm not happy with it and blah blah. And I'm like barely starting on her eyes, right? And I'm like, no, that's fine, whatever. Then she starts like telling me about her Tinder day and like how the guy flaked on her and like telling me all this stuff. And she was younger than me, obviously, but I was just like, yeah, like I felt kind of bad for her, I guess. I don't know, she just seemed like one of those people like where they need like someone to talk to or like friends or something. But she was kind of like holding me up too because she kept talking and like moving. So then like once I'm almost done with the eyes, I did, oh my God, her eyes came out so pretty. I wish I would have took a picture, but at that point, like when I needed to get her out, I didn't have time to take her a picture. But I did like the the purple on the outer kind of coming out with the pink. Excuse me. And then I put like the glitter on top because she wanted something dramatic, you know, and she did like it, but she was, even with the shadow, she was like, well, this one's a little higher and this one's a little lower, and then this liner was this and this liner's that. And I was just like, oh my god, like nobody's face is symmetrical. Like, you know how hard it is to get somebody's like liner or shadow completely perfect, and you only have 45 minutes. And not even at this point, I only had like 15 minutes left to do her makeup. And so it was like so frustrating. So she was like nitpicking, and then she was like, oh no, I want more pink than purple, even though she had told me she wanted purple on the outer. So at this point, I'm like, okay, I can't take off the purple, right? So I'm like blending her purple, and it's just like blending so much that she had no brow bone at that point. So I was getting frustrated because I personally, like, I want to be happy with it too, you know. I don't want to send somebody out and like it doesn't look good. So I had to like blend so much, guys. I spent like 10 minutes blending to try to get most of the purple out, and like it looked very blown out. Then I had to pack on more pink and blow that out. It was just like a nightmare. Like every little thing she was saying she wanted, she didn't end up liking, instead of just like, I guess, trusting that I can do it, you know. And then at that point I had like 10 minutes, and the girl whose appointment was at 1 came back because we told her like, oh no, like she's not ready. They told her she's not ready, come back at 1. That's the time of your appointment anyways. And she was like, okay, that's fine. So she comes back like 10 minutes before, and I'm still like, literally she looked like this. Like I still had to put lashes on her, bronzer, blush, and lipstick, and I didn't have time to do anything else for her. So she had told me she wanted dramatic lashes, and I asked her in the beginning, I'm like, have you worn lashes before? And she's like, no, like only on special occasions. I'm like, okay, well, I brought her 2 options. I'm like, this one is a little less dramatic, but the band is comfortable if you're not used to wearing lashes. And she's like, okay, but she liked the super dramatic ones. I'm like, just letting you know, this band is super thick. Like you're gonna be able to feel it. It's not gonna be as comfortable, but these are like the most dramatic lashes we have. And she still wanted them. So then when I put the lashes on, after doing everything, she was like, oh, it's so uncomfortable. Oh, I could feel it. So I had to cut them so much that it was literally like, the lash was like here, like at the outer corner only. And it looked kind of weird because she didn't have liner. Like I didn't do no liner. I did not have time to do liner, like liquid liner. I had just did like a smoky pencil liner. So it just, like, it didn't look bad. Like I think if her lashes would have been different, a little less dramatic, then I really would have liked the way it came out. But yeah, at this point it's like 1 o'clock already, and I'm still not done with her. I still have to do like bronzer and blush, and she's just like nitpicking everything. I picked bronzer. She doesn't like that bronzer. She's like, oh, she wanted something she wanted like something more matte, because I picked one that had shimmer. And then I'm like, the matte ones are like a little bit darker, so I had to use like a mineralized powder instead. And then I just did like whatever blush. Like I literally like threw on the last of her makeup or whatever. And then she was like still like nitpicking. She didn't like the concealer, and I'm like, well, I can't like do anything about it anymore. And then she was like, aren't you gonna like set under my eye? Because I hadn't even, or I think I did, I set it, but I didn't bake like this, and she wanted me to bake. And I'm like, well, it's already like too late, like there's not enough time. So I just put a little bit more powder. She was just like nitpicking everything. And then like to top it off, the whole time she kept asking me if she could sleep with her makeup and like keep it on till tomorrow, because I guess she had something else to do the day after as well. And she was like, can I like keep my makeup on like till tomorrow, and then tomorrow will you be here? She kept asking me like, tomorrow will you be here? Will you guys be able to like retouch my makeup. And I'm like, no, like, are you kidding me? Like, I'm not gonna retouch all your makeup. Like, the nerve, I swear, people are just so weird. I would never even think that's okay to even ask that. But yeah, so she was like telling me, oh, I like, will I be able to sleep with it and you retouch it? I'm like, no. I'm like, the only thing I can retouch, honestly, is save your lashes. I'll put them back on for you. And I'll put like powder over the foundation and your blush. But I'm like, I can't retouch anything, or else you have to come and pay for everything all over again. And I told her, I'm like, even then, like, that's so bad for your skin, like, to sleep with your makeup and keep it the whole day, you know, like, that's so nasty. Like, it's so crazy that people do that, but I know a lot of people actually do that. But yeah, so she was like, will you be here tomorrow? Like, what time will you be here? So I literally like lied and was like, oh no, I'm not gonna be here tomorrow, even though I was coming in the next day. But I was like praying I didn't see her the next day, because I was like, oh my God, I don't want to deal with her again. She was just like so crazy. And then like toward the end, like I chose her lip. I think her lip was the only thing she was like okay, like didn't go against what I said, what I wanted to put on her. She was like okay with it, you know. So yeah, at this point, like, I'm pretty much done with her. I just need to grab like the products she wants to buy. And then she was like, didn't even know what she wanted to buy. And then like she took so long, and I felt like her eyelash was like coming off. But I already had like another client. They gave the 1 o'clock one to somebody else because I didn't make it. Like, it was literally like 1:20 when I was done cleaning up my stuff and like trying to get her out, get her products. So I still had somebody else at 2 coming in, so I had to like hurry up, clean all my brushes, you know. And then she was like in the store for the longest time, and then I felt like if her eyelash was coming off, and I felt bad, but like I couldn't really like go back to fix it. Like, you couldn't tell like if you're like from far or anything, but I could tell because she kept talking to me, like she kept interrupting me. And then yeah, so then she just like kept bugging if I was gonna be there the next day. She wanted me like to retouch her the next day, and I was just like, oh my God, like, get this crazy lady out of here. And then she was still like trying in the register, like, I don't know what she was telling my manager, but she was still like trying to get like a, I don't know if she was trying to get a discount or what, but I have no idea. But yeah, she was just like too much. Like, sometimes I don't understand why these people don't do their makeup at home, because they want to act like they know everything and pick everything themselves, and then they don't end up liking what they pick because they don't trust us. If she would have just listened from the beginning, it would have went a lot smoother. But yeah, she has been like, I want to say one of the worst customers I've ever had. I had one other that was bad. Besides that, I don't ever really have like I don't have like really bad customer stories, but she was like the worst, literally. But yeah, I have like one other that was pretty bad too. I could do like a story time on that one if you guys are interested, but pretty much that is my story of like my worst customer. I feel like it's good to have bad customers because it does test you, and I feel like I was pretty good with being nice, even though she was like so difficult. So yeah, that's gonna be my little story time of the worst client I've ever had. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know I didn't say the products that I was using. I did a super like fast look. I'll put everything down below if you guys are interested in seeing how I got this look or what products I use. But yeah, if you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you babies next time.